told your friend you're not okay.
Shock. HYBE officially confirmed that Jungkook would be holding a massive event in 2026, and what sent ARMY into a tizzy was the fact that this wasn't the result of a long discussion, a collaborative plan, or a slowly developing project, but rather a direct instruction from the very top of HYBE. The language they used in an internal statement, top-level directive. It's rare, very rare, for HYBE to use such an order, especially for an individual artist. As soon as this news broke, the atmosphere in the industry changed. Korean entertainment reporters, usually relaxed in their respective offices, suddenly began calling producers, editors, and behind-the-scenes sources. Many major Korean media outlets even shifted their broadcast schedules to make room for this story. Armies across time zones woke up to a constant stream of notifications, and within minutes, the term Jungkook 2026 project was climbing at a rate even algorithms couldn't control. But what exactly made this announcement so shocking? For the first time, HYBE didn't elaborate. There were no teasers, no photos, no posters, no clues. All they revealed was the gist of the order, that Jungkook would lead an international, large-scale event that would carry strategic value for HYBE's future. That sentence alone was enough to make ARMY wonder. What was being prepared? Why was it so important that it was called strategic? An anonymous insider said that meetings held at the HYBE building over the past 2 weeks have been packed, extremely closed, and tightly guarded. Even regular staff members were not allowed to approach certain floors. They were reportedly designing an event concept unlike any other K-pop artist had ever done before. Some called this a second phase of global projects, following Jungkook's massive success in 2023 to 2024. Meanwhile, several senior managers admitted that Jungkook's schedule for early 2026 had been rearranged by HYBE itself. There were indications that personal activities, commercial shoots, and other projects would be adjusted to maximize Jungkook's focus on this event. A decision rarely made by an individual artist, unless the event is truly large-scale. On the fan side, the reaction was far wilder than anyone had predicted. ARMY began creating a series of theories that spread rapidly across platforms. Some speculated that the event would be a new global concert with hybrid technology, combining a physical stage with premium AI visuals, something that had previously only been rumored. Others predicted a major multimedia project, some kind of film, a world album, or a collaborative tour with an international company. Some even suspected that HYBE would organize a world-class event for Jungkook, like a global showcase on the same level as the Super Bowl halftime show. However, as time went on, more and more small clues emerged. Jungkook seemed to be reducing his public activities, only appearing at very specific events. In previous interviews, he had mentioned that he was preparing something he didn't want to reveal. At the time, fans dismissed this as a casual remark. But now, after HYBE's announcement, it all started to make sense. Meanwhile, industry analysts began to put the pieces together. They believed HYBE was strategizing to strengthen Jungkook's global position as an international icon. In other words, the impact of the 2026 event would not only be for fans, but also for the global music scene. Some investors even believe this project will impact HYBE's stock value. The fact that the company announced it without a teaser suggests they want the world to know that this move isn't just another artist activity, but a strategic move that will impact the K-pop landscape. In the ARMY community, enthusiasm is already building to almost uncontrollable levels. Many are saying that 2026 will be Jungkook's new golden year. Some international fans are even starting to save money early in case this happens in the form of a massive concert or world event. Normally quiet community groups are suddenly bursting with activity, 24/7. And amidst all the commotion, one thing is crystal clear. HYBE doesn't just want to create an event, they want to make history. The decision to make Jungkook the centerpiece of this massive project demonstrates the company's confidence in Jungkook's global influence. After HYBE's shocking announcement shook the entire ARMY and threw the Korean entertainment industry into a tailspin, the following days only intensified the strangeness, becoming increasingly difficult to explain. It wasn't due to the delay in information, but rather to the sheer number of strange things happening behind the scenes. In a short time, signs emerged that the Jungkook 2026 project was far bigger than anyone had anticipated. Inside the HYBE building, staff who normally moved freely were now working with a tense atmosphere. Division directors, who rarely appeared together, were seen meeting almost daily. Several rooms normally used for trainee training were suddenly converted into temporary coordination rooms. Even staff who had worked with the company for more than 5 years admitted they had never seen such a strange situation, as if the company were preparing for a covert international operation. It became even stranger when rumors began circulating that HYBE had begun meeting with major technology companies from Japan, America, Europe, and even the Middle East. The names that emerged were not small names. These were companies involved in global events, futuristic stage technology, and premium multimedia distribution systems. The fact that all these meetings took place in just 2 weeks has led many analysts to believe that Jungkook's 2026 project is more than just a regular concert or birthday event. Many are beginning to believe that HYBE is doing something unprecedented in the K-pop industry, combining music, futuristic technology, and global elements into one super event stage that could set a new benchmark for international artist events. But what's making things even more crazy is a small change in Jungkook's own schedule. Jungkook, who has always been known for his frequent updates, suddenly disappeared from the radar. He was only seen at 1 or 2 events, and even then, without further comment. Each time he appeared, it seemed as if he was holding something significant behind his gaze. Many fans noted his expression, calm, focused, and slightly more serious than usual. It was as if he was carrying a heavy burden, like someone who knows that the project he's preparing will one day shake the world. Even some HYBE security staff appeared to be increased in areas that weren't usually heavily monitored. Fans passing by the HYBE building began noticing strange signs, such as the arrival of large equipment covered in black cloth, unfamiliar vehicles without license plates, and several staff members wearing never-before-seen, project-only access IDs. Meanwhile, on social media, the atmosphere had become a digital war room. Armies from dozens of countries created lengthy threads, theoretical diagrams, and even predicted teaser release times. Some linked the project to changing trends in the global music industry. Some believed Jungkook would release his own global concept untethered from the traditional K-pop format. Others speculated that HYBE was planning the first hybrid real virtual event, accessible simultaneously from 50 countries with cinematic quality. However, the most striking theory that quickly spread was the possibility that Jungkook would lead an international event marking a new era for HYBE, a pilot project that would eventually become the foundation for its next major business model. And strangely enough, some small signs did point in that direction. Industry observers have noticed that over the past 3 months, HYBE has quietly recruited dozens of technical experts, visual designers, and even international consultants who typically work on blockbuster films and global stages. Some former Olympic concert staff were even said to have been present at certain meetings. If this is all related to Jungkook's project, then this could be the most ambitious K-pop event in history. Slowly, Korean media began to join in the frenzy. Several major outlets reported that HYBE's intentionally vague response only reinforced the suspicion that the company was up to something they didn't want to reveal too soon. Some international media outlets even began asking HYBE directly, but the company maintained a single response. Event details will be announced in due course. At this time, we ask that you please wait. And that answer only made the whole thing seem even bigger. Meanwhile, the music industry also joined in the speculation. Rumors were circulating that several international brands were anticipating this major move. If this project were truly as big as suspected, Jungkook would not only be the center of the K-pop world's attention but also a global figure leading a shift in the direction of the modern entertainment industry.